Hey guys, I got the Texas UCLA game coming up in about, well, for me, about 4 hours. So Texas, an impressive second half last week. All of these guys are fighting for the job right now. Colt McCoy, David Ash, Garrett Gilbert. Even still, you know, um, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Garrett Gilbert take some snaps today. Um, Lord, I hope he doesn't. I hope he's pretty much done. But would be surprised to see it. Um, but Case is definitely the guy for us. Obviously that he was made the starter this week. Um, but for the main part, we're going to be running David Ash and Case McCoy, which I love. Both those guys, they're both really talented. And you'd hate to see one guy get the nod over the other, but you also don't necessarily like seeing the dual threat. But for a Texas offense like this, it's kind of makeshift, and you really don't know what's going on. It's really not that big of a deal right now. In fact, it's kind of good because hey, worst comes to worst, we've got two guys we can play before Gilbert. Because Gilbert's obviously not the option for us. We thought he would be. I thought he would be for a long time, but he's not. He's a junior, and he had outperformed last week by a sophomore and a true freshman. It's a horrible, horrible sign. But let's rest that. I don't want to bash Gilbert too badly here. But defensively, I don't really think we'll have that much of a problem with UCLA overall. They're a big team, big physical team like they always are. Uh, but I don't really think we'll have the same problem we did last year. Last year, it was just a team full of individuals, offensively and defensively, and that's the way they played too. They didn't play team defense. We saw a lot of guys going out there, one guy trying to make a tackle on the ball carrier, and the advantage goes to the ball carrier in that situation every time because the defensive player is anticipating. He's in anticipation mode, so obviously, the advantage goes to the ball carrier. And this Texas defense has never been like that. They've always been just a swarming team. I sound like a broken record because I've said this so much this season, but it's just impressed me about their defense is that they've regained that, just that signature. If you go down right away, or you can have 12 Longhorn jerseys all over you. I know I just said 12. They only have 12 guys on the field. Um, but that's just what I love about this Texas team and always have. And they're getting back to that. Manny Diaz has definitely brought an intensity to his team, and he dialed up. We stuffed the run last week against BYU, and He dialed up some very, very different looking blitz plays, and just some all-out blitz plays. And at first I didn't like that because we have such a young secondary, but I guess he just challenged the secondary, and they stepped up and accepted it. We really, when you look at our team, we really have Blake Gideon and Keyshawn Randall. Those are really the only experienced guys we have. Keenan Robinson too, excuse me. So we really have, out of our 11 defensive guys, we've got 3 guys with any kind of experience, and everyone else is just, freshman or sophomore. Really, we are literally the youngest team in the NCAA. That's not just me saying it. We're starting 18 freshmen. Starting, but we are playing frequently 18 true freshmen. And that is the youngest in the NCAA. I believe the second's Ohio State with 15 or 14 or something like that. But we're not playing our guys because we cheated. So, uh, but I just don't think we'll have that kind of problem with UCLA this year. Obviously, this isn't. If we win this game, it's not like we can start talking about national championship implications if we win. But I definitely think we're going to be playing against a team that beat the tar out of us last year, and over the years, sort of has our number because they beat us like 60 years ago, and then last year. So, they're going to come in, they're going to want to beat us because we're Texas, and people just want to get their licks in on Texas, whether we're good or bad. because it's been so long since teams have really been able to just do that to us. And we've been doing it to people for, you know, what, 40 years now. So more than that, actually, we won our first couple of championships in the 60s. So anyway, long story short, I really think that, you know, we won't be able to tell a whole lot, but we'll be able to tell some things because this is, like I said, a team that's going to want to beat us. Be confident after what happened last year, and they're going to be, you know, more well prepared. You know, like a lot of times when you see a team like UCLA lose to San Jose State or Houston, I don't believe UCLA actually lost to San Jose State, but anytime you see a game like they played against San Jose State, it's typically because you see them looking forward to a game that they're more interested in. And in this case, if you know, it wouldn't be surprising to see it UCLA, who's not, they're not a powerhouse by any means yet. So I think that was probably a case of them just looking ahead to Texas and wanting to beat them. They beat us up last year in our own house, so UCLA isn't the only team who's going to be ready for this game. I think Texas is going to want a little bit of revenge, and you know what I just don't see us losing this game, and especially I just want to say this: Case McCoy, excuse me. I keep calling him Colt incident, but he is just such a gamer. When he comes out and he performs, you know, really the first time I saw him take the field against BYU last week, he threw the first completion I had seen in a long time. And then it was fumbled by Darius White, who recovered it. But yeah, that wasn't pretty. But anyway, you know, then the next play he comes in after that interception, and it was really just like total. Hello? Anyway, huh? Yeah, it's cool. Um, anyway, but it was like a total jailbreak up front case, and you know, he just ran back and forth and tossed the ball, and we got a penalty on the play because John Harris didn't know what he was doing. But still, you know, you just saw him. He sprints in one direction, there's a guy. He turns around and sprints in the other direction, there's a guy, and throws a pass on the run for completion. It was just, something that we hadn't seen a guy be able to do something out of an improv in over a year. So to see that was just fantastic, in my opinion. And not only that, but just he just looks better than Gilbert. You know, his attitude looks better. He just looks better, you know, with the swagger he has on the field and everything. Um, to be honest, I think, you know, Case throws on the run a little much for my liking, and I think they should get David Ash in there a few more times, or get a few more throws in there for David Ash, because you don't want to become completely one-dimensional, but with Ash in anyway. But definitely, you know, you can run the zone read with both McCoy or Ash. McCoy's a very good runner. So is Ash. And of course, we've got, you know, three, you know, a host really of talented running backs. Fozzie Whitaker, we run him out from under center a little too much for my liking. You know, from the eye form, he's not really a power back. I don't like to do that, but definitely like running the wild horn. Some take off the wild cat, I guess. But I really like running the wild horn with Fozzie Whitaker. It's just yet one more look that we can get with this Longhorn team, because right now we're kind of running makeshift offense, but how are you supposed to prepare for these guys? You don't know which of the three quarterbacks is going to get the most snaps, really. We've got three running backs. We've got a boatload of different formations that we do. We don't really know what we are, but we know better than the other team who's trying to prepare for us. So in some ways, it gives us an advantage to have two quarterbacks and three running backs, maybe even three quarterbacks thrown in there. And of course, apparently, John Harris and Jackson Shipley, who can both throw the ball pretty well. So, you know, I've just been very excited for this game all week because it's been over a year since I've expected Texas to just come out and win like I am today, and I'm just excited to see, again, more McCoy's out there throwing the ball. So I'm excited, even though it's not that, even though the game doesn't really prove to be that, excuse me, even though the game doesn't seem like it's going to set up to prove that much as far as the season goes or our team goes, I'm just excited to see our team, go out there and get some more reps in with the team that we know we're going to run before we, just one more time before we get out there to Oklahoma game. Of course, we've got Iowa State coming up next week before Oklahoma. And I won't get into Oklahoma right now, but I'll give you my thoughts later on that, obviously. Hook 'em horns, Texas fight.